What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And today I want to do a mini discussion slash review of The Last of Us HBO TV show. I made a video on this on TikTok. I gave my quick minute or so thoughts on the premiere, and I wanted to do another video on that and just kind of get into a little bit more detail of what I said in my TikTok video, because I have a few changes because I have watched it 2 times now fully, and I just had some thoughts on it. As of recording this video, episode 2 has come out, so I hope to have that review up within the next few days. But I think, you know, you got to start somewhere. So I'm going to do the first episode. I'll try to knock out the second episode this week, and then from there, we'll try to get on more of a curriculum, or get on more of a set schedule of when we do these videos. So if you're new here, would you mind liking this video, subbing to the channel? And if you're used to seeing my beautiful face, leave a like on this video and comment and let me know what you think about The Last of Us premiere. With that being said, let's talk The Last of Us. So my first initial thoughts here is, all right, so just a disclaimer, I've talked about this many times before, and because this is definitely a series that means a lot to me. Okay, I don't know what happened there. With the show, there's a lot of high expectations because the game is so cinematic. The game is so intuitive. It's just a piece of art, really, as opposed to just some video game, right? When you think about just some video games, I think of games like Apex. I think of games like Call of Duty, right? Not that they're bad games, not that they're like time wasters, right? If you want to sit here and say things are a waste of time, that could be literally anything you enjoy doing, right? If you like reading, that could be a waste of time to some people. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna sit here and say that. But as far as what The Last of Us does and what it brings to the table is really something worth admiring, and it's more of an art form as opposed to, hey, here's a story about zombies in a very dark, bleak world. So the premiere does about what I expected to do. It goes over the events of the game, which is good. I was telling, matter of fact, on our past podcast, we talk about the Last of Us TV show a little bit, and one of the things we noted was me personally, just being a big fan, we don't want the story to be tampered with, but so much. I personally think the original story is perfect the way it is. And so when you start really trying to add and take away things from that original outline that the game presented, it gets a little touchy there. But what they do really well is they really elaborate more on some characters that we see, especially towards the beginning. We see a lot more characterization with some of these. You see Sarah a lot more. You see Tommy a lot more in the beginning. You kind of, it fills in some blanks on where Joel was when Sarah first woke up. The start of the game. And that stuff was phenomenal. I think when you could add more of something we didn't necessarily ask for, if you can give me something I didn't necessarily ask for and make it intriguing, that's pretty good. I do trust in the writers of this show so far. But what I will say is I'm not going to sit here and say that this premiere broke any new ground. I don't think it really did anything nuts. I'm seeing people like really overhype this shit. And I do believe it's hype. I mean, look, look, if you genuinely think the premiere is fantastic, then look, who am I to sit here and tell you that it's not, right? As far as quality goes, it's got it. As far as actors, they got it. And speaking of actors, Bella Ramsey as Ellie just works, man. I'm not trying to sound like the head over at Bethesda, right? Todd Howard, is that his name? Of course I know who Todd Howard is, right? He's a freaking legend. I'm not going to say it just works, but it really does. Like, having her play Ellie, when I saw that first initial scene where she's locked up in that, in that room with the fireflies, where they got her locked away, and when she's like, the thing she was saying when she goes, she's counting to 10, and before she gets to 10, she goes, 8, fuck you. And that worked really well, because right then I was like, oh yeah, dude. Any doubts that I personally had for her to play the character immediately just fluttered away. I was like, dude, it's very great casting. Pedro Pascal as Joel, pretty decent. He didn't blow me away with his performance, but Pedro Pascal is an awesome dude. He's an awesome dude, and I think if anybody can play this role, if anybody can do it, he can do it. He's got the acting chops. He can be dramatic. He can be funny. He can be charismatic. And I think there's all the things you need to play a character like Joel. So he does a decent job. I wasn't completely sold on Tess. Tess was, I don't know, like something. I just felt like she's a little too old looking to me. Like I know that like Joel and her are around the same age. Joel is what, like 50 some, right? Like 53, and let's just say Tess is like in her late 40s. I understand that she's not a young lady, but I kind of wish they would have made, brought in a little bit of a younger actress for Tess. But I think the actress who plays her does a really, really good job. I'm just not quite feeling it because she seems like way older to me. Like it's hard for me to believe that her and Joel are the same age. And I mentioned this before. I think the actress who plays Sarah, I think she does phenomenal. And it sucks. I hope we get to see like more flashbacks and stuff with her, which I got a feeling they're probably going to do to give her a little bit more screen time and elaborate a little bit more on Sarah and Joel's relationship, because we get a whiff of that, right? We understand that Sarah was his world, right? As he should be. I mean, that was his kid. But to really see that relationship flourish a little bit more, I'm excited to hopefully potentially see that. And I think that I would have liked to see more of it. I know they kind of jumped right into the Last of Us story. And that's one thing about having, in today's day of age with streaming and things like that, each, seasons of television shows are not like they used to be, right? Like you can think like seasons like Smallville or Supernatural or something like that have like 20 episodes a season or whatever, or more, right? And there's a lot of filler that comes with that. But however, when you only have like 9 episodes to work with, you kind of have to rush. You feel like you can't really flush out things you'd like to do. And I think one thing this show could really do that could really benefit is to really flush out these relationships. I mean, because at the end of the day, that is what we want. That is what we want from this world and this story, is the relationships between your characters, right? The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad. I'm thinking about some of the best shows out there, right? What they did a really good job of is really putting the characters first. And The Walking Dead did that for a while, kind of simmered out after a little bit. But but for me, it's like, I think that's what's most important to the story of Last of Us, is really getting that connection between the characters and how they feel about each other. And that makes for a good story. Make me care, especially for characters that are already pre-established, like Joel and Ellie. I fell in love with Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson's performance as both characters respectively. And I think that when you've already had this premeditated way of thinking how these characters are, when you can see it done in another medium, and done well, it's really good to see. And so far, I'm really, really liking the dynamic, and I'm excited for what's to come. For all in all, look, I'm not gonna sit here and say that this premiere is like this the best thing ever. Some of the hype that I'm hearing from people about this premiere is ridiculous. I don't think it broke any real ground. I'm damn sure not gonna sit here and say this one episode of a show is way better than, like, people want to compare The Walking Dead to this, and I get it. Post-apocalyptic, it's zombies. Okay, I get it. But you can't compare. Like, this show just started, and even there's, like, reviewers out there who have seen all 9 episodes. How dare you sit here and say one season of a show is better than an entire show that went on for 11 seasons, even if those last few seasons were not great. And I can admit that. Being a huge Walking Dead fan, I get that. But, I mean, come on, dude. Like, you can't sit here and make that comparison. I don't think that's fair. Now, if you prefer this world more than Walking Dead, well, then what am I going to say? Like, what I mean? This world has more variety when it comes to the infected and stuff. And so if that's more of what you're into, then I get it. But I just don't like the comparisons fair. So I'm not going to do that. All in all, it was decent. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really all about. Oh, by the way, as far as actors go, I did like that they brought back the original voice actor who played Marlene in the games. She plays Marlene in the show. She's like the only actress that actually plays her respective character in the games. So she was good. Yeah, I'm excited to see more of her as well. I love her in the role. Sorry if I keep hitting my mic, but you know, it's really cool, man. It works. It works really well. I just think it was very, you know, I just think it was a decent premiere. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was great. Looking forward to episode 2. Let me know what you guys think about it. I know it probably sounds like I'm rambling here. I'm probably not gonna give a rating. I'll give a rating after the show is over. I'll really go through each episode. But let me know what you guys think about it. Did my thoughts make any sense? What did you guys take away from it? What did you guys like? I know we'd be really happy to hear that. And I think me and my co-host Jan do plan to do a the Last of Us TV show episode on the podcast, so we will also go into detail on that as well. But so yeah, you know, we'll be talking about The Last of Us, and it feels great. It feels good to have a reason to talk about The Last of Us again. So if anything else, it opens up great conversation. So with that being said, I'm gonna stop rambling here. Thank you guys for listening to me talk for 12 minutes. Appreciate you. Like and subscribe if you can, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.